Welcome to part 2 of our series. In our last session, we introduced the concept of a visionary solution that combines nature-based, socio-cultural, and digital elements to tackle challenges and improve the health and well-being of urban areas. Now, as our visionary solution takes shape, a crucial question emerges. How can we measure its impact? Today we're diving into the heart of this question, monitoring and evaluation. This is more than a final check mark, it's the process of rigorously assessing a project's impact and effectiveness. For urban planners and city administrators, this process helps us measure impacts, learn lessons, and tailor our solutions to emerging challenges. The VARCITIES Project's Monitoring and Evaluation Framework provides a systematic way to assess the effectiveness of the visionary solutions implemented in our pilot cities. Our framework is based on Key Performance Indicators, or KPIs, that were carefully selected to measure the success of our interventions. The framework also aligns with the Eclipse framework and the Sustainable Development Goals, ensuring a holistic view of our project success. So, how did we get from a list of challenges to a set of measurable KPIs? The first thing we did was to identify the key challenges from the Eclipse framework that were most relevant to our pilot project. This framework was developed as a request from the European Commission to create an assessment framework to build an evidence base on the benefits, co-benefits, and trade-offs of different NBS applications. In VARCITIES, we used 9 Eclipse challenges, including climate mitigation and adaptation, water and green space management, air quality, urban regeneration, participatory planning and governance, social justice and social cohesion, public health and well-being, and economic opportunities and green jobs. It is important to mention that there is potential for indicators and methods to be applicable to more than one challenge area. Each challenge contains KPIs which are directly linked to the topic being investigated. It is important to mention that there is potential for indicators and methods to be applicable to more than one challenge area. Each challenge contains KPIs which are directly linked to the topic being investigated. In turn, our pilot cities have taken measurements and monitored the progress of their selected KPIs, which are collected through their visionary solutions. Some KPIs are common across multiple cities, so results can be compared directly, while others are site-specific, tailored to the unique context of a pilot city. So, for example, if your challenge is related to air quality, you could measure the concentration of various chemical pollutants over a period of time in your pilot area. Relatedly, if your challenge is related to social cohesion, you might want to track if there is an increase in community participation in public events. To make sure our measurements were solid, our indicators were adapted from the Task Force 2 handbooks, both the Appendix for Methods and the Handbook for Practitioners. This enables all nature-based solutions projects funded under Horizon 2020 to collaborate on demonstrating the multiple benefits of their projects according to different areas or topics, as well as testing and implementing the handbook and its recommended indicators. For any KPIs not included in the handbook, a framework was created for pilots to input their methodologies. Since the VARCITIES project is highly emphasized on collecting data, it was important to have a well-coordinated structure. The general process involved the setting up of 10 monitoring periods before the start of the implementation phase up until the post-implementation period, for a total of 30 months, from November 2022 until March 2025. Some pilot teams started taking their measurements even earlier than the start of the monitoring period to allow more time for data collection. But none of this is done in a vacuum. The true success of these projects come from involving a diverse group of stakeholders. This is how we ensure a more democratic bottom-up approach to developing new and improved KPIs. Citizen engagement is a huge part of this, helping us make sure our projects are socially inclusive and adaptable to different local contexts. This is crucial for making our interventions replicable. We bring everyone to the table, from project managers to planners to citizens, by holding local stakeholder workshops that represent the quadruple innovation helix: public, private, academic, and civil society. A really important part of this is also involving citizens in the actual data collection. We found creative ways to do this through self-reporting and digital tools, which not only gives us valuable data, but also gets the public directly involved in the process. Our tools to collect data for the KPIs are quite diverse. We're using fixed and mobile sensors, questionnaires with citizens, GIS mapping to track changes in green space, and simple record keeping for the number of people participating in our activities. We use a blend of quantitative tools and qualitative tools. After we monitor and collect data, it is time to evaluate. Our evaluation follows three main approaches. First, pre- and post-intervention comparisons. This is a great way to see any changes or improvements that happen because of our visionary solutions. A second method is benchmarking. This means we're checking our results against local, national, and international standards. And third, we also use stakeholder co-evaluation, which means we bring in stakeholders and citizens with all kinds of expertise to get their feedback on what they're seeing and how they perceive the impact of our solutions. This gives us a more holistic and inclusive view of our project's success. So let's look at a few real-world examples from our pilot cities and see how these principles work in practice. So let's look at a few real-world examples from our pilot cities and see how these principles work in practice. First, we have Novo Mesto. Here, one of our key performance indicators focused on increasing connectivity between sports facilities. The solution? A sustainable forest path which also doubles as a health trail. This new route links the swimming pool and the equestrian center, reducing the distance from 1,000 meters to just 355 meters, which is a 64.6% increase in accessibility. Next, in Louvain, we evaluated a KPI measuring exposure to noise pollution using sensors. This graph shows the day, evening, night noise level, or LDAN, measured at Hertogen Park over time. Across the measurement days, LDAN values ranged from around 47.3 to 70.4 decibels, with an average of 56.3, which is slightly above the EU benchmark level of 55 decibels, which is set by the Noise Directive. And finally, in Gżira, Malta, during a stakeholder workshop, participants were asked to rate how effective citizen participation was in the design, implementation, and evaluation of project interventions as a form of co-evaluation. The results show that the majority, over half of the participants, rated participation as moderately effective, while another 21% saw it as somewhat effective. By combining these methods, we get a much more valid and complete picture of our results. Another opportunity created by Visionary Solutions is that they don't only target one positive impact, they create what we call multiple benefits. This means a single intervention can have positive ripple effects across many different areas of city life. So let's break down some of these benefits. First, we have environmental benefits. Our nature-based solutions, for example, are designed to improve things like urban biodiversity, air quality, and climate resilience, which are aspects that make cities healthier, more livable places for everyone. Then there are social benefits, which is a huge part of what we do. Our solutions are designed to improve public health and well-being, and they also foster social justice and cohesion. We mainly achieve this through citizen engagement and participatory planning, making sure that everyone's voice is heard. So let's break down some of these benefits. From what we see in the diagrams in Novo Mesto, social inclusion was among the highest ranked benefit from the socio-cultural category. For the NBS category, ecological connectivity was rated the highest among the other nature-based solutions benefits. And lastly, for the digital component, e-participation was the most evident benefit that emerged. To conclude, monitoring and evaluation should not be an afterthought, but it should be an integral part of the design of the visionary solution. Success and learning from our experiences, which is essential for building a strong case for replication. Our pilots have shown that data-driven evaluation allows us to see what truly works, justify our investments, and deliver multiple benefits to our communities. This is all crucial for the next step, where we will be talking about how you can take our learnings and make them your own. So be sure to join us for our next video, part 3, where we'll present guidelines to replication. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you then.